Okay, so we are doing our first masterclass, which I'm so excited about. It's going to be all about business basics, goal setting, and evaluating your business. So we're really going in strong with this first masterclass, and I'm really excited about it. I need you to let me know in the comments if you can hear me, if you can see me, all that jazz. So I want you to say hi if you can hear me. Let me know how your day is being, all that jazz. I'm super excited to finally do this first masterclass. I know it's been in the making for a while, but I have been sick and I actually forgot to get my drink because I know I'm going to I'm going to be coughing just a little bit. So hi, Colleen. Okay, Colleen says, I can hear you and see you just fine. Melody says, hi, so excited for you to be here with me today. And you may notice that there is a lot better connection, and you may be able to hear me a little bit better. These earphones are pretty much just for me to hear because I have some really big ones, and they're a little obnoxious to be seen on the video, but I do have new equipment and I'm so excited about it because now you can see me a little bit better. I'm in a whole nother space, which hi Cynthia, which you may or may not have ever seen. So this is my new studio space. I'm super excited about it. I'm not completely finished with it all, but I know that it's going to definitely be my home for a really, really long time. And I just noticed that there's a trash bag over there, so please forgive me for that. I really did try to clean up a little bit. Anyways, I'm just waiting to see if anyone else is going to pop in. If you don't have your PDF on hand, it's okay. We're going to be working or actually talking through the PDF today with a little bit of course, you know, a little ad lib, just because I want to explain some things from the PDF that you may be kind of wary about or have questions about. I only gave examples for a couple of things, so that might make you question some things as well. So anyways, let's get started. If you do not have the PDF or you didn't receive the PDF email, let me know. I know there has been some issues, a couple of issues with the mailing service, so I definitely want to make sure that you receive that. Okay. Also, if you don't know where the PDF is and you didn't get the email, or you did get the email and you just want to know where the PDF is, don't worry, that's not a stranger behind me. I hope not. That's my mom. She's feeding the cat. Okay, so if you don't know where the PDF is, it is in your resource library. Now, the kind of trick with that is that only those who are on the gold and diamond plans have access to the resource library. They only have access to the resource library and the special offers. Hi, Sierra. I'm so glad that you can make this live as well. I know you weren't able to last time, so I'm really excited that we rescheduled so that way a few more people were able to hop on. Okay, so business basics, goal setting, and evaluating your business. That's definitely a mouthful, and it's definitely things that we all need to kind of really think about, especially whether you're new to the business or, you know, just need a little refresher. So I had a really great time making this PDF. I think it's super cute. I love the icons. So what you're going to learn today is actually, let's see, my top 5 business basics to consider when starting or managing your business, and the goal setting techniques that I personally use to accomplish my tasks. Just like when I created this master group, I had to obviously have a goal setting plan in place for me to actually launch this and, you know, have it work. So I'm going to be sharing a little bit about how I actually launched this program and how I actually created it. And then we are going to talk a little bit about evaluating your business, just because I know that it's really fun to just like jump in and be like, I'm a calligrapher, or I'm a stationer, but sometimes we have to kind of, you know, go back a little bit and see like why exactly this is the right direction for you, which is kind of scary, I know, but it's definitely necessary. So let's get into the 5 business basics. So you need to know what you're selling. And I kind of did a cute little Venn diagram for you to actually figure out what to sell. So it'd be really awesome to sell prints or mugs and stuff like that. But sometimes not everyone is able to actually do that kind of selling. So also, I want you to tell me if you like the quality of the video and if you can hear me a little bit better too, because I'm really excited about this new hardware that I purchased. Okay, so when I started my business, I thought I'm going to do prints. Actually, I have 3 baskets full of prints over there that I've kept throughout the past year. The year before I did prints as well, and I actually threw all of those away because I was like, there's like no point in me even having these. Okay, so that's a little truth bomb there. Not everyone's able to do prints. And if you are, more power to you. If you're able to do Etsy, anything like that, like I commend you for that, because it was really hard for me and I didn't really get many sales. You can actually go to my Etsy account and you'll see that maybe I got like 50 sales, and that's really not much, especially during the time I actually had my Etsy shop opened. Okay, so we need to kind of figure out like what your business and what you want to make is actually going to be about. So I eventually realized that I am really good at branding and I'm really good at the calligraphy and stationery part, so that prints, not so much. Other people strive on prints, and I really respect them for that, because I wasn't able to get into that side of the business. I really wanted to, but it just wasn't one of those things. I ended up working so much harder for that side and not getting any compensation for it. So you kind of have to evaluate your business and see like what's working and what's not working. And when I evaluated my business, I realized this isn't working for me. So I actually I talked to one person, and you know who you are, and I know who you are, but I don't want to call you out on this. But I actually told her, I said, I had rather have one $1,500 client than 115 clients. I just didn't think that for me personally and for my business and the direction that I want to go in it, that just wasn't worth it for me. Having like 100 clients is awesome, but whenever it's like $15 back, it's like not really what I'm looking for. Yeah, Melody, very true. I love Melody. Okay, so you really have to evaluate and see what really works for you, and really put down everything you're selling, like whether it's the print, whether it's like your magnolia print, your lettered print, whatever, and see like how many of those you're actually selling and what you're not selling of that. Because if you're not getting that money back from it, then you may decide that you don't need to actually sell that. So a really great example is that I actually created some mugs, and they have mom on it, and I thought, oh my goodness, these are going to sell like hotcakes. There's so many moms, like I know so many people who are moms, and when I actually put them out, I actually sell a lot of things at this brick and mortar store that's like 25 minutes away from me, and I realized that I'm not getting that money back. And like that's a hard thing to actually realize, but it's something that you have to realize, and it's something that's really important. So I probably spent about $250 on it, and that's not even like me taking time to do the calligraphy, digitizing, scanning in, finding the resource to actually get these printed on mugs and everything. So, excuse me, I didn't get that money back. And then I realized, well, prints and mugs are definitely not my thing. Last year I did 2 market shows, and this was before I even thought about doing the master group. And I like pretty much worked so hard on both of those shows. And honestly, I think I made like $400. And if you know anything about like doing markets and stuff, that's not a really good like that's not a really good like net income that I've received, because you have to pay to actually get into the shows, and then you actually have to like do all the hard labor, and then you have to like drive, and like these shows were like about 2 hours away from me. And so like think about like my hourly income or my hourly rate fluctuates depending on what it is, from like 50 to 100 and something. And if I calculated like that 50 to 100 and something times the hours, not including the time it took to drive back and forth, I lost so much money. And so like that's kind of one of those evaluation things that you really need to do. So if you're doing like markets or anything like that, or you're doing bridal shows, you need to see how long you're going to be there, and you need to see like, are you actually making money? You might be getting a client from it, but like how much is that actually going to end up being? So if you're getting like 3 clients from a bridal show, or 4 or 5 or whatever, awesome. But if you're getting like 1 client, then it's really not worth it. Okay, 2, get a business license. So there's so much like information out there about like which one you should be. Sole proprietor, LLC, S corp, like whatever. I personally am a sole proprietor, and I just realized that I misspelled that. I forget the extra R. That's awesome. I'm like the typo queen. If you're in any of my pods and stuff, you know that I'm like the typo queen. Anyways, so it really depends on what your business is, and I'm strictly talking like the US. I know it really depends on like which like country and like the laws and stuff kind of are. So what I recommend is actually going to your certified public accountant, because they're your friend. They know exactly what you need. And I actually need to go to mine and like kind of make sure that everything's like accounted for and all that jazz before tax season. And like really, you're paying them to help you. You're not paying them to like scrutinize you or say, oh my goodness, you're an idiot, you don't know what this and this is. Obviously you don't know what this and this is, because you're not an accountant, and you're probably not a business. Well, you actually may be an accountant, but you possibly aren't a business manager, or not business manager, but business major or anything like that. I know there are a couple who have minored in business or no accounting and stuff like that. I am not one of those people. I wish I was. So definitely like go to one of them, ask like for your state and for what you're doing, what you really need to do, and like what certificates and permits and stuff like that you need. I have a sales tax ID, I have a tax ID, I have like my standard business license, all that jazz. So definitely go to one of those. 3, make sure you're actually making a profit. So this is kind of what I was telling you about with knowing what you're selling, is like you really need to kind of evaluate what you're actually making. And as a business, we need to be making something, or we're going to be one of those statistics that's like so-and-so percentage, so-and-so percentage of businesses fail. You don't want to be one of those businesses. I don't want to be one of those businesses. We don't want to be those businesses. So you definitely need to make sure that you're actually making a profit. So if this is like your first year, then you're probably not making much of a profit. My first year full time, I wasn't making much of a profit. I promise you. Because I was taking courses, I was getting resources. I was, I bought a new computer last year. I did this and this and this, and it just really adds up. And then all of a sudden you're like making $1,000 of profits. And then you're like, well, what is this business anyways? So you definitely need to make sure that whatever you are taking out of your business, you're going to put it back in like threefold. So like if you just got like a $3,000 job and you're like, oh my goodness, I can actually finally purchase that iMac, make sure that you really need that iMac first, and make sure that that isn't going to come out of your net profit from that $3,000 job too much, just because we all have to pay bills. I have to pay insurance, and because I don't have like a family insurance or anything like that, then I have to like pay out of pocket, and it's almost like $400, and it's like so expensive. And so like I have to make sure that in my business that I'm actually making that back. So like if I am having to pay that, then I have to make sure that I get a job that compensates that. So like whether that is an envelope job, whether that's a branding job, I want to make sure that I put that money back into my business, and I have a little bit money over for other insurance and all that jazz. Hi, Ellen. Hope you're having a good day. Okay, so definitely make sure that you're actually making money, because like I said in the example, you may be making $30,000 in gross income, which is like the full amount, but you might be making like $6,000 in profits, which is still good. But if you think about it, like during a whole year, actually, let me see. How do I do this? Okay. Let's see. I have about $400 in just health insurance. So that is actually for each year, that's actually $4,800. And if I'm only making $6,000 in profits for that year, I'm like not really making anything, because that covers my health insurance, but it doesn't cover my car insurance, my house insurance, or anything, or like me even buying groceries, or like going out to eat, because I love going out to eat. Like, it's so good. Like if you look at how much money I spend, it's pretty much like just a menu. Like, okay, broccoli balls, hot wings, onion soup, all that jazz. Okay, so number 4 is something that I'm going to talk a lot more about in a mini masterclass, and it's actually going to be called setting up expectations. But this is making yourself look professional. So you want to make sure that hi, Cynthia. Yeah, I mean, I love food. So, and actually, okay, anyways, I won't even say it. Okay, so make yourself look professional. So, you don't want to not be yourself. Hi, Christina. You don't want to not be yourself, but you definitely want to make sure that you are coming across as a professional and that you're a boss lady and all that. So you want to make sure that when you're posting on social media, post pretty high quality things. You don't necessarily have to go out and buy a $3,000 digital camera and then like take all those photos, or pay someone to take all those photos. I mean, that would be super nice. But make sure like when you're posting images and stuff like that, you're not saying like kooky things like, what's up, dog? Like, this is my invitations and I cannot wait for you to like buy them all up, and all, like just don't be really weird or anything. Like, kind of talk a little bit about like the process and your business, and like just be yourself, but like be yourself, the professional side of it a little bit. Hi, Christina. Yes, I love food. So make sure that you look professional, because if your website and everything looks like it's created by a professional, and that and that you have like all of the makings of that, then people are going to take you more seriously, and they're going to be like, okay, like obviously you didn't have your like 12-year-old nephew doing your Photoshop work, because a lot of people tend to do that. Not like our businesses, but like certain businesses like that I know of are like, okay, my 12-year-old nephew knows how to do Photoshop. He can do all my branding. We don't want to look like that. We want to look like an actual branding expert did our branding. And if you can't afford that, then like slap on some really elegant type and use that for now. But definitely in the future, try and either you can do your branding if you know the basics and if you know more about branding, but definitely have it like really on point. Okay, so next, this kind of goes with like what you're selling as well, because like what we're selling is pretty much the biggest part about our business. Obviously, it's how we make our living, it's what we sell, it's what we put our time and energy into. So you want to be a solution to a problem. You don't want to just make something, you don't want to just make something for no cause at all. So for stationery, one of the problems that we solve is actually for the bride to not have to worry about that, for them to impress their clients, for their clients, not clients, guests, for their guests to have like this really beautiful experience as soon as they open up the envelope, or actually as soon as they see the envelope. We want to make sure that when our bride's clients or our couple's clients open it up, they're like, oh my goodness, I really want to go to this wedding. So one of the biggest things that we actually solve as stationers is that we don't let them stress over that. They have more important things to worry about, like cake testing, catering options, more food options, and obviously like, trying on the dresses and stuff. We don't want them to be like in the back of their mind, I wonder how my invitations are doing. Or I hope I have enough time to address all my envelopes. Like, we don't want them to like even worry about that. So one of the biggest things that we do for our clients is to get that stress off their plates, give them more time to do what they really want to do with their wedding plans, and just make it a little bit fun. I mean, we're the professionals. We need to be able to actually, do everything for our client in this category. Okay, awesome. So I did a little bonus and I said, make sure that you protect your business, whether it's like getting the, appropriate business licenses, tax forms, all that. And then also, getting the contracts. Hi, Tess. Hi, Jen. So glad that y'all are here with me. Okay, so, let's see. Yes, make sure that you're protecting your business, because if you're going to have a business, you need to make sure that it's protected. It's like if you're, buying a house or you're buying a car, make sure that it's protected. Get the insurance, and make sure that your business isn't going to go anywhere, and that if something does happen, then you have all the forms in place to make sure that it is protected. So, that's pretty much it for the business basics. There's so many more, but these were kind of like the top 5 that I really enjoyed, and I think are really important as well. So if you have any questions, let me know. I am definitely up to answer all of that. Okay, so goal setting checklist. This was just kind of like a little checklist that is a general checklist for pretty much anything you're going to be doing. Of course, there's going to be steps within these steps, but that really depends on what you're doing. So make sure that you have a goal if you're doing a goal setting thing. So your goal may be to create a website, launch your website. It could be to create a master group like mine. It could be to do a semi-custom collection. It could be to do your first styled shoot in 2018, anything like that. This is a really great checklist, because if you wanted to do the semi-custom collection, that would be your goal. See what steps you need to take. So for a semi-custom collection, you would need to find a printer to do small batches, find like find out how many semi-custom designs you want to do, where you want to actually have these pieces established. Like, where are you going to put them? Are you going to put them on your website, or are you going to put them on Etsy? Like, you got to know these things. Okay, so, and then like put down the tasks that you need to complete, such as like actually designing, getting these printed, getting these photographed, and then finally like launching it, whether you're like getting your friends to help you, whether you're getting professionals, the photographer that you use to help you launch these, anything like that. And do the things. And then afterwards you can celebrate and be like, oh my goodness, I don't have to worry about this anymore. Come on, clients, come to me. And then like continue to advertise. Okay, so I did a little example goal with launching your website, because I know that we've been talking a lot about websites, and I think that's really like one of the first things that you need for doing a business is actually having a website. I know a lot of people don't necessarily have a website, but you really need to start beefing up your SEO. If you were to look up Mississippi calligrapher, even my name, Sarah B. Calligraphy, I think if you type in Sarah Barrett, I'm there as well. And like certain titles and names and stuff like that, you want to make sure that you're being seen. And like Tupelo calligrapher, I live near Tupelo, so like people are going to see me. Once you have your website locked down, which I have like this really great example go for you to like really look through that, then you can actually start like promoting it a little bit more, and actually what was I going to say? Oh, and connect it to Google Business, because I know Emma Rose had mentioned that last week. She actually helped me and told me how to do it, and it's like so easy. You just like log into your Google account and like just set it up pretty much. You can Google that. Obviously, you can Google anything these days. So for the setting up your website, I know a lot of people already have websites, but in case you don't, you want to make sure that you have a name and that you create branding. So whether that is, like Sarah B. Calligraphy, whether that is Little Duck Calligraphy, anything like that, like make sure that you have a name that it's going to be memorable and something that's going to be really easy for people to actually find. There's a lot of names out there that I personally don't see them really working out, but then they like work out. So it really depends. So sometimes it doesn't even matter like what your name is. It depends on how you handle it. So like Apple, like hello, we know Apple. Like I'm on Apple right now. There's an Apple laptop over there. Like we all know what Apple is. But if you were to assess someone's ability or assess the name, like first glance, and you didn't know what it was, and you'd be like, why is this technology company calling themselves Apple? That is so dumb. Like, excuse me. That is so dumb. We already know what an apple is. Oh man, I got flushed all of a sudden. And so we already know that an apple is like a piece of fruit and all that jazz. So they really made themselves a name in the world besides like an apple that you eat. It's like now technology, and we know exactly when someone talks about apple that they're talking about the technology, not the actual fruit. So it's really how you kind of like use the name and what you do with it for your business, because you could either have something that really works like Apple, or you could have something that doesn't work, and then you're like, well, now what do I do? So definitely kind of evaluate like what you're actually doing with the name, and if there's like similar names, and if the domain is right, because I know a lot of people choose a name and then they're like, oh, darn, like the website's already done, so now I have to put like let's see, now I have to put and co or design at the end or something like that. And you really want to make sure that you have a name that you can use throughout all the platforms. So if you were to look up me on anything, there's Sarah B. Calig somewhere in it. Pinterest is Sarah B. Calig. Instagram is Sarah B. Calligraphy. My website is Sarah B. Calligraphy. Facebook is Sarah B. Calligraphy. So you really want to make sure that you have all of those steps in place and really think about the name and how it works with all of the platforms that you're going to be using it with. Okay, so figure out what pages you need. Obviously, you need about, portfolio, contact, your services page, and then your homepage. I think your homepage is one of the most important pages, just because it's like a summary of your whole entire website. It's going to have a little bit about yourself. It's going to have a little bit about your work. It's going to have a little bit about your services, and then it's going to direct you towards something else. So whether that's hey, look at these invitations, then it's going to direct you to the invitations page. Hey, you want to learn a little bit more about me? Here's my About Me page. You want to learn, see the different things that I offer? Click here. So definitely make sure that your homepage is a little bit about everything. And then your about, obviously you talk about yourself. But when I first started, I thought an about page was more like a resume. And it's not. It's about you. It's about what you can do for someone. Let's see. Yes, Christina posted a website where you can actually check if a name is taken, which is awesome. So, I need to check that. So let's see. Just, make sure that you have everything in place for your people. And, we're doing the website review thing right now. So please make sure that you get into a pod with up to 5 people and really discuss the website. Right now, my pod is doing Beth's, and we actually have a Google Doc where we're going to put in all of the pros and cons and our review and stuff. So that way she has it on hand to actually look over, even if she wanted to do it 2 months down the line, and she's okay, I really need to work on my website. Let me pull over this Google Doc and see what the other people are saying. So we're all working on one Google Doc together, and it's really fun, and I really love my group. Okay, so now you want to snag those images, just like a semi-custom collection. You want to make sure that you have actually something to photograph. So whether you have pictures from a real wedding or a styled shoot, sometimes it's nice to have some mock images or mock designs to photograph. So when I first created my website, I really didn't have that stuff. I did stationery 5 different times, but it wasn't anything that really reflected what I wanted Sarah B. Calligraphy to be. So I decided, okay, what kind of ideal client am I wanting? Am I wanting someone who's a little more edgy? Am I wanting someone who is elegant and traditional? Am I wanting someone who's a little more whimsical and free-spirited? And then I was okay, well, I need to create stationery for that person. So that's what I did. I sat down one week and I designed about 5 different sets. And I created those, and I'm so stupid, but I created them by hand. And I don't know why. I'm a graphic designer. I have a BFA in graphic design. I don't know why I didn't actually just design them. But I did it all by hand. I think it's because I was so ignorant to stationery, and I really wanted to do just calligraphy in the very beginning. And now I'm ooh, I love stationery. And so I actually did a lot of mock images mock designs by hand, and then I photographed it all in one. One day, I just photographed everything. I photographed some signs. I photographed, some place cards and the sweets and stuff. And urban legend is told that you can still see some of those images somewhere on my Instagram page. So I'm not like too proud of those, but I am proud of how far I've come since then. Okay, so copywriting. Copywriting is one of the most important things. I use words a lot. Obviously, I talk everyone's ears off. My Instagram bios have always been, not bios, Instagram captions have always been like a couple of, what's it called, paragraphs long. And I've always loved writing things. So I did this really awesome heart-to-heart method thing with the Bear Bride. And she really helped me kind of find the heart of my business and find the reasoning. And I always knew what the reason was, but I never really talked about it. And one of the biggest reasons was because of my grandparents. I still have their love letters, and paper has always been like something that I really always admired. And it was just something that she needed to dig out of me, I guess you could say. So I'm really glad she did that. And like in the process, we worked together on my copywriting, and like a lot of it's changed since then because I've changed like some things in my business. So that's one thing. I think copywriting, like what I said, is the pictures grab the eye, but the copywriting captures the heart. So definitely make sure that you have some words that actually explain what the heck you're selling, and like the services and like the process, because if you're not going to say that, no one's going to know it. I think it's really important to be really transparent with your clients, and this is their usually this is their first time getting married, so they actually don't know about these different processes. They probably have looked up wedding stationery and stuff like that a couple of times, but they haven't really like seen what the processes and stuff like actually goes into it. And they may be like, oh, that's really pretty paper, but I don't know what the heck that's actually called. So we have to be the ones that are like, okay, these are the services that I offer. This is how I do it. This is the paper that I can supply for you, and all this other stuff. And a lot of that's going to go into your welcome magazine, which you have in your resource library. So definitely use that. And I would actually, I'm opening up this to people who actually go to their resource library, open up that welcome magazine, and fill it out and design it and stuff like that. And I'm opening up for y'all who do that. I can look over that for you. So if you need any help with that, then I really don't mind to help you review over it and critique it and stuff like that. Okay, so now it's time to launch. And how the heck do you launch without all of a sudden being like, woo, I launched? And it's okay, well, no one really cares because you haven't really told us anything about it. And it's out of the blue. It's like if you were to have a festival, like a Christmas festival or something, or a groundhog festival. Yeah, you have a groundhog festival. And it's the most random thing. No one has advertise about the Groundhog Festival, and you expect everyone to go to the Groundhog Festival. That's just not going to work. So what you want to do is have some of your friends and colleagues, some of us if you wanted to, and actually say hey, do you mind helping me launch this and announce it? You don't necessarily have to do it. I sound like I'm about to cry. You don't necessarily have to do it through an Instagram post or anything like that. But I would love for you to snap a photo on your Insta story and just post it. That would mean a whole lot to me, and just really help announce it and make this the best launch for my website. Because when I launched my website, I didn't have anyone to help me out with this. And it's we're in the community mindset now that we're all going to be helping each other. And I mean, Sarah Thomas just recently created some new prints, and like I didn't mind like screenshotting her announcement and posting on my Insta story. Anything to really help out. I know Grace has really, or Grace has really. I mean, like I have like posted stuff of Grace's. I posted stuff of Maylin. Like I've really just really tried to help my calligrapher friends like announce and launch their stuff. So definitely ask for friends. I know I asked a lot of friends when I was doing the master group to help me launch this. And I see some of the people in the chat right now, and it's Tess and Jen, and let's see. I think that's it right now. And then like Grace and Maylin and Nikki, like they all helped me. And Sarah, and like I'm just really appreciative of them even like helping me with that. So definitely like reach out if they're not able to, don't put it against them. People are busy, and say like, hey, I know that this is a really busy time, but I really would appreciate it if you could help me out with this. And I'm sure that they would. So during the days of you publishing your website or your semi-custom collection, your course, anything like that, you want to make sure that you kind of build up the excitement. You want to be like, hey guys, I got something going on. Like, here's a little sneaky peeky of it. So just like post some of the stuff and really like make sure and really make sure that they know what's like happening, or not like what's exactly happening. Just be like, hey guys, I have something really fun in store for you. I just look like a creepy like a creepy sir, like I'm like launching something evil over here. But like seriously, make sure that you like throughout I have something going on. Tess, you're so funny. But I really do think that like kind of teasing them throughout the week and then like having a big launch announcement is like really important, because a lot of the people some people that follow you may be following other people. Hi, Cynthia. People who are following you might be following other people who could be like announcing your launch, and they'll be like, oh my goodness, I know who Sarah is, I know who Tess is, I know who Jen is. Like I want to like actually go to their stuff and see what's going on. So yeah, definitely do that and see like really what people would help you. Okay, so evaluation time. This is really hard, which is when I said this might be the hardest part. It's difficult, like it's seriously so difficult to reflect and like be like, what am I doing bad in my business? Because we never want to be that negative person, especially ourselves, because we are always like our toughest critic, but we never want to be like, dang, I am really screwing up with this certain thing. But it's okay to do it. It's easier to do it like that than actually be like, oh my goodness, like I just wasted $3,000 on this like new set of prints, but I kind of already knew in the back of my head that it wasn't going to work out last year. So what you want to do is see what's happening. I said, what might be happening could be you're not pressing high or low enough. And that's where the problem solving 2 is going to really help you with that, and seeing like, are you wasting your time doing 600 envelopes for 900 minutes? Let's see, that's like not 3 hours. What is that? I used to be good at math. 600 times, let's see, about 3. Okay, divided by 60 for 30 hours. Are you wasting 30 hours on addressing 600 envelopes and like making like 300 or making $600 off of that. So like if you were doing that, then that would be like what, $20 an hour? About, kind of. Yeah, it is. You want to make sure that you are, I mean, like $20 an hour is really good if you were making that every single day, every single week, and like consistent. But sometimes, I mean, this is totally being honest, sometimes we don't have a job that week. And so we could be, let's see, an average work week is 40 hours times $20 an hour. That's $800. You could be losing $800 a week if you don't have something to do that week. So that's why you want to make sure that you are compensating for that time that you might be losing money by pricing high enough. So right now I average about $70 an hour for my envelopes. And so that, like, you know, that makes a pretty good like basis for like how much I need for that month. So if I know that I need like $1,200 for like insurance and house payments and all that stuff, which that's not how much I need. I just was like throwing that out there. But then I need to make sure that I'm actually getting that $1,200 and I'm actually like getting the jobs that is going to pay for that. So you may not be selling enough if you are doing prints and stuff. So if you sell like 100 prints at like $15, then that's $1,500, not 150, $1,500 a month. But then you actually have to take out the Etsy fees, the processing fees, because Etsy does take out a fee for like actually posting on Etsy, and they take out a processing fee. So you need to know how much they're actually taking out, and then you need to see how much money you actually put into it. So that's like the materials, printing, shipping, all that stuff. Like, how much are you actually making out of that $1,500? Are you like actually making $700, but you need $1,200? So you're really like $500 short. And like selling 100 prints in 1 month is a lot. And you know, I don't want to discourage anyone ever, but you really need to kind of evaluate what's actually happening with your business, how much you're really making, how much you're really selling. And you know, you could have like an awesome $1,500 stationery client, but then it's like, but how much are you actually making out of that? Like, how much is your design fee? How much are you making for the overages? And then like taking out like all of the materials. So if you're making like $1,500, or if you're getting $1,500 for it, but the materials and everything costs $800, then that's $700 you're actually making, which still doesn't add up to that $1,200 per month that you need. So that's why you need to like kind of see how much you're making, how much you need to sell, and like what you can do to kind of compensate throughout the month. It's awesome if you have like a lot of, not business, well, yeah, I guess business, because then that's going to help you. But you need to make sure that it's like you know, like what if next month isn't like that? So then you need to make sure that you have enough money to roll over and make sure that you have, you know, enough money to do all that jazz. Okay, so that was a little grim. I do apologize for that, but it's very needed in our business because we are primarily freelancers, which means like our income is sporadic. We may be making $3,000 one month, and we may be making $700 another month. So Sierra says, I think it's this kind of pricing stuff that isn't intuitive and two, takes time and experience to explain, but it's also the kind of pricing info a newbie like me needs. Okay, yeah, definitely. We're going to be talking so much about pricing in another masterclass, and like really breaking it down, because this is really important, because this is what's going to make your business fail if you don't know actually how to price your work. Like I'm trying to kind of talk a little bit about doing a price breakdown for you, but you need to kind of see like what really is working and what's not working. And what's not working can be things that you don't even you haven't even found out about. You may think in the back of your mind, no, I'm totally making enough money. Like someone just paid me $3,000. But then once you take out the shipping, the materials, the supplies, and then like actually how much time you're like putting into it, like how much are you really making? I had to do this for my stationery pricing last year. Or not last year. I'm like saying last year, but it was really like back in May, I think. And I had to really like buckle down and be like, how much am I really making off of this? And like I think but I think I was making like $600 off of one client, and now I'm making like double that, or like more than double, just depending. Okay, so you need to know if you're not selling enough, which is like really great for those who are product based, which are like the prints, the mugs, totes, and stuff like that. One other great way that you can make some extra money is actually, if you're a calligrapher or a brush lettering artist, you can actually do workshops. We're going to be doing a mini masterclass about that, and like talking a little bit about how I set up workshops. Right now I have 3 workshops for the duration of January and February, and I did 3 this year, and then I have 3 next year so far. So do I have something in my hair? What is that? I think it was like just one of those loopy loops. Okay, anyways. So another thing that might be happening is no one knows you're even selling anything. When I go into town, I don't really do local stuff except for that brick and mortar in the city next to me. But when I tell people what I do, they're like, I didn't know you did that. What is that even? And it's like, you know me since like I've been a baby. Well, not really a baby because I was in Vietnam when I was a baby, but I'm like, you've known me for so long and you don't know what I actually do. So this is my problem. It's not that person's problem. It's me like not telling people. I could post more on Facebook, which are usually the people around me. And like those who are my friends on Facebook, you probably know that I rarely post anything about my actual business. Let's see. You could be doing stuff that's like more local that people are going to like talk about. And even like my doctor talked to me today. I went to the doctor today. I have like a little like knot or something underneath my armpit. Too much information, I know. But like I'm just pretty much falling apart. But and he was like, I heard you're like famous. You're a famous calligrapher now. You're doing this online and you're doing this and this. And I'm like, who told you this? Like, I have no idea. But like, you know, word around town goes pretty fast. So you want to make sure that if you have any chance of telling people what you do, you need to tell them. So that way they know who to go to in your town. Let's see. Another thing that might be happening for your business to not do so well is you're not good at the business side. And the business side might be, I'm so sorry. The business side might be that you just don't have the proper plans in place, the proper timelines, the proper processes and stuff like that. And like the processes that I do are all through Dubsado. And one day we're going to be doing a masterclass on Dubsado, and I'm going to be telling you all my secrets. So that's going to be a lot of fun. But I have a lot of like checklists and making sure that I need to do this and this at this time. Right now, I am doing a branding client job, and Dubs like always helps me with those kind of clients. So one thing is you're giving everything away. Don't do it. It's so easy to give your livelihood away. And that's pretty much what it is. You are giving away your livelihood. You could be doing a lot of awesome things like, like calligraphy, wood signs, and lettering and all that stuff. But really, like, what's that actually going? What are you getting out of that? You're getting false promises, and you're getting nothing in return, really. Especially if you don't get like pictures back or anything like that. When I did my first few clients, and I've told you all this before, I charged $25 for stationery. This included design. This included, let's see, I didn't do it simply. It didn't include calligraphy either, but it included printing, and it included trimming everything by hand. And I'm talking about one of those like sliding cutters. I know you know what I'm talking about. It's like one of those like Fisher. I think that brand has it, and then like Exacto. I have the Exacto one that's like hot pink and black. But yeah, Holly. Oh. But because I was so ignorant and I didn't have an amazing group like this to actually teach me any better. So make sure you're not giving everything away. It's good to like give a gift, or like if you're doing like a promotional thing, but you want to make sure that what you give or what you get is going to cover what you actually get. So one of the things that I do for my business as a stationer is actually, I say like the shipping and everything is like complimentary, or not everything. The shipping and the envelopes are complimentary, but really like I put that price in, like I consider that price I consider the cost into my price. Melody says, ha ha, I can't wait to look back on this past year and cringe at all the mistakes I made. Melody, I know, we all have to do it. It's like, it's our rite of passage. We all have to like look back and be like, what the heck was I doing? Like, how am I in business after last year? But it's so true. Okay, so my voice is starting to like give away, so I do apologize for that. Okay, like I said, I'm still a little sick, so another thing, you're giving away discounts. Don't do the discounts. They're your friends and families, but never call them discounts. If you're going to do something, do it like, and it's like something small, like let's say my mom wanted me to do an ornament. Actually, you can see some of my ornaments right there. I've sold like 30 of them, which is actually pretty good, since I didn't actually advertise for them. So what you want to do is, when you're giving out discounts, like for your friends and family, just gift it to them. Don't even say it's like a discount. Just be like, hey, I did this for you because you're an awesome person. I love you. And I really hope that you post this on Facebook for all of your friends and family to see. So hopefully that happens. But I would never do like a stationery thing like at a discount, unless I'm like giving like a wood sign away or something like that, which is like, I have tons of those and I really need to just get rid of those. So if you have something to get rid of, then you can like give it away for free or gift it. That's the terminology. You never want to give anything away. Okay, so I don't do discounts. I'm just like, hey, if you really want something, like to my mom, she gets everything for free, because she actually is my assistant and she helps me with a lot of stuff. So what I say to her is like, hey, you don't have to give me money, but you can buy me a hamburger tonight or something like that. Because I had rather have food than payment sometimes. So, let's see. Another thing that Another thing that, that might be happening to you is that you have no social media presence. So a lot of the people that I actually come in contact with are from Instagram or from Facebook or something like that, and they know me, my work. They know my work and me. They want to work with me. They want to tell their clients about me. I posted not too long ago marble tiles, and I had a wedding planner actually say, "Hey, my client is actually looking for these. I'm so glad that we've been following each other for a while because I really want to hire you for these." And now I'm doing them in February. So make sure that it's like one of those things, like you just never know like what's going to come out of it, but something's going to come out of it. You just have to be really patient, and you can't like let things like get you down on like social media, aka the algorithm. So let's see. Sometimes your website just isn't working. And like I said before, we're doing an awesome website review thing that started last week. So you can get into a pod of 5 people. Mine has 6 because like I'm not a rule like follower most of the time. So I have 6. It was just easier. So make sure that you take advantage of that because we are going to be doing it again. But it's really great to have that now, start getting into the new year. So that way, when you do launch, you're like a refresh. You can be like, this is the new year and a new look for my website. Let's do this thing. So another thing is you don't have a website. That might be a problem that you're having. And why I push a website so much is because that's where everything is housed. You never want to really sell through Instagram or Facebook or anything like that. You want to have you want to have professional ways to do things. So through your website and hooking them up with like Dubsado or your email or anything like that, awesome. Do that. Your website houses everything, all of your information. It's awesome that you can post things on Instagram and Facebook, but Instagram and Facebook goes away like this. No one's going to scroll down and say like, okay, this post is about how she does her invitations. No one does that. Like once your post is out of their site and they've already liked it, that's it. They're never going to go back to it. So that's pretty much the truth about that. So you want to make sure that you have a website that leads somewhere else, particularly to your email account, to your task managing site, client managing site, all that. Things that might be going on in your business that's just not working, the list can go on and on and on. I have things in my business that just isn't working. And it could be for like so many different things. It could be things that are just out of my control. I know that someone said that usually after like during the election year and then the year after, some things are like really weird and people just don't want to pay for things. So that could definitely be something for that. You just have to make sure that you kind of fill in that gap and just really like work on things. So this is one of my favorite things ever. I was with my diamond package consult with Crystal. She's awesome. I love her, and like the direction she's going with stationery is like something I've never seen before. I've told her that a million times. I love her stuff. So now, you want to see what's the matter. One of the things could be you're not selling the right things. You might not be selling things that actually make money. You could be selling, like if you're making something and you're not actually selling it, you're a hobbyist. You're just making it for fun. Like me, I do embroidery, but I don't actually sell it. Like I sold a few like at a market just for fun, because I just did it just for fun. It's not going to be something that I want to make a living off of. And by the way, I don't see how people in embroidery actually do make a living off of it, just because one thing could cost me, or one thing could be like $25 because no one wants to pay for a lot of things. and it might have taken me like 5 hours. So if you divide 25 into 5 hours, then that's $5 an hour, and I might as well be being paid at like a part-time job or something, which I actually think like a part-time job would pay me way more than that. So let's do this Venn diagram. You can print off these PDFs, put them in a nice little folder if you want to, and see like a basis of what you should be selling. Now this is pretty much just for fun, but it really does give you an idea of what you could be selling that could be making you money. So in the left circle, tell me what you love to create. In the right circle, tell me what makes you money. Things that I love to create: stationery, branding, calligraphy, envelope addressing, spot calligraphy, watercolor paintings, all that jazz. What actually makes me money? Calligraphy, stationery, and branding. Pretty much just 3 things. So that's when I put these things together and I actually see what makes me love what I do, but also makes me money that I can pay my bills and then maybe treat myself to like a sushi dinner one night, or a couple of nights, depending on how frisky I want to get. So do that, see what happens. I would love to know your results. You can always email me at support@sarahbcalligraphy.com and tell me like what the results are from this Venn diagram, because I think this is a really good way to actually see what could be something that you can be making money from. Okay, so problem solving 2. So, I love the Venn diagram and all that jazz. And we already talked a little bit about the pricing example, but I want to kind of reiterate that you really need to break down your pricing and see like how much you're really making. I don't typically price hourly, but it's a really great way to see like a basis of like if you're kind of going in the right direction. If it's like lower, on the lower side, then you don't even need to be wasting your time on that. If it's on the higher side, then you're in a pretty good spot. So I'm going to kind of, and I hate to do this because I love Etsy. I really do. Please don't judge me or like bash me for doing this. I gotta get up a little. Ooh. Okay. I don't think I got up anymore. I just feel like I'm really low down. Okay, anyways. So I'm going to do an Etsy thing. And I've seen a lot of people on Etsy make, like envelope addressing. And what I'm going to do is, let's see, sometimes I'll see them for $1.25 each. So we're going to do that by 300. Okay, $1.25 times 300. So they made $375 after making calligraphing 300 envelopes. Now, I want to know, does $375 seem like a lot to you? Like, would you spend 900 minutes, aka 30 hours, getting $375? I want to know. I know there's only like 9 of you watching, but I really want to know what you think about this and like that pricing. Tess says nope. Okay. I'm on the side with Tess. Cynthia says no. Carly says hell no. And I'm pretty sure everyone else is going to say no, because that's nothing, guys. Like a one-time job, like $375. Woohoo! Let's see. Kaylee says, "Oh wow, that's 8 cents an hour. Woo, it's not even $1 an envelope. Hell no." Holly says. Cynthia says, "No, I could rot at my desk job for more. I'd rather like be doing something else. I'd rather work out than do that." Christina says that's a lot of work for nothing. Okay, so y'all know that it's not a lot of work. And actually, that's $1.25 per envelope. So $1.25 per envelope for 300 envelopes is $375. That's not a lot. So let's see, I take about 3 minutes per envelope. And some people, well, I promise you, I have really good lungs, I promise. But I take about 3 minutes per envelope. Some people take lower, some people take lower. Some people take longer, some people take faster. So let's see, 300 envelopes times 3 minutes is 900 divided by, let's see, 60 minutes. That's 15 hours. Okay, so now we know that it takes 15 hours to do 300 envelopes. Our price that so-and-so gave us was $375. So now we're going to divide 375 by that 15. We made $25 an hour. That's pretty good, I would say. But that was for one job. And you made $25 an hour, and you're not guaranteed to have all of that. So I'm gonna, let's see, I have a pen somewhere. Okay, why is it that we as stationers never, okay, I'm about to go under my desk because I found a pen. Okay, so, okay. I'm so out of shape, y'all. Okay. So, we know that is 15 hours. That's 15 hours. That's $25 an hour. We got 375. And remember what I said before, that we would need about $1,200 a month to pay just insurance and stuff like that. Not even a house payment. If we wanted to do a house payment, we could move it up to $2,000. Okay, so let's say we need $2,000 for that month. That's not even food. That's not gas. That's not food. That's not travel, anything like that. So now I'm going to divide 2,000 divided by 375. I'm going to need about 5.5 clients. I don't think you can actually do 5.5 clients, but I'm going to need about 5.5 clients for that month to make that. Hi, Beth. Okay, you're a little late, but that's totally fine. There's going to be a replay, and then I'm going to post this in your video library. So I'm going to need 5.5 clients for that month to get the 2,000, which is, just for the necessities, not for gas, not for travel, not for food. I mean, because we can all live on air, whatever. Okay, so now what I'm going to need to do is, that's 5.5 clients, and that's actually a lot of clients for envelopes. So if we needed 300 envelopes per client, any guesses how many envelopes we're actually going to need for that whole month to do? I'm curious. Always curious. That's 1,650 envelopes, y'all. That's a lot of envelopes for a month, especially when you multiply that by the 3 minutes. That's 4,950 minutes that you're addressing envelopes. What does that equal out to be in hours? That's 82.5 hours just addressing envelopes. That's it. That's all you need, is 82.5 hours to address envelopes to actually make enough money to pay for insurance, your car note, your house payment, anything like that. That doesn't include gas. That doesn't include food, because who needs food? That's a lot, especially if you're wanting to spend time with your family and friends. Yeah, tests, exactly. There's emailing, there's asking for the list, waiting for the list, going to the post office, and sometimes you need to actually assemble it for them. It's a lot of stuff, and like the 3 minutes per envelope, like I said before, was just for doing the envelopes. That doesn't even include the materials like the nib, the ink, the water from your faucet that you need to get. Like, that's a lot of time and not a lot of money. So that's why I tell you to really evaluate and see like what you need to be making per month, and actually seeing if it like it's going to if it matches up with your actual pricing and stuff. Because if it doesn't, then you need to up your pricing so that way you get compensated correctly. So if, let's say we just double that $1.25, which is $2.50, which still isn't enough. So let's triple that. So that's $3.75 per envelope. That's a pretty good price. Mine's $3.50, and that's what I did for the example as well, is $3.50. So we just tripled this, and to get our $2,000, let's see, we're gonna have to work 27 and a half compared to 82 and a half. Now, would you rather get the same amount of money, that $2,000, for in 27 and a half hours or 82 and a half hours? Like 82 and a half hours is a really long time. So that's really where you need to evaluate and see like what's working, what's not. Talk about like pricing, like, like get your calculator out and really see like, if I do one stationary client, how much am I making from that person? Am I making like $700? Well, that means I'm going to need at least another stationary client. And sometimes like 2 stationary clients is just too much. Sometimes you need 1, and then you could have like 1 calligraphy client, and like really see like what you need for each month. If you need 1 stationary client per month, if you need 1 stationary client for the first 3 months of the year, and then the rest of the year can be like branding clients or calligraphy clients, and just kind of like see what really works for you. And this isn't like going to be a concrete plan. This is more or less kind of like what you really need to make the bills and make some extra money to, go on like that vacation without actually like, beating yourself up each time and saying like, I just worked 82 and a half hours on this actually doesn't happen, but 5.5 clients. Like, that's a really long time, and I just don't have that time because I have, a significant other to spend time with. I have a child to spend time with, and just really see like, you may be thinking $3.75 is a lot for calligraphy on an envelope, but what's it really costing you? Like, is it costing you time away from your family and friends? Is it costing you like your like mental health? Is it costing you, X, Y, and Z? Like really see and evaluate like what it is for you. For me, I didn't have enough time for my nieces. Now I'm able to go to her bowling games, and also on Wednesday nights I'm able to help out help out at church. Like this past Sunday, I was able to narrate a Christmas program. Like last year, I didn't even go to church. I didn't go to any of my niece's programs except for one, and it was like a course thing. So see what your priorities are and see how you can like relate them or like connect it to where you're able to actually go to it, but still make money and not really have to worry too much about it. So I think that's the end of our PDF. There was a lot of information. I actually didn't mean to go over an hour, but I'm Sarah B. Barrett, and I like to talk, and I probably won't be talking anytime after this. So let me know. If you have any questions, concerns, anything like that, please message me. You can message me on Facebook, but I always check my support at sarahbcalligraphy.com email address. So definitely message me there. And I'm not going to do, let's see, do I have any questions? Okay, I'll open up questions for like a few minutes, and then I'm going to vamoose because I need to eat something. And then like make sure I treat my throat well. I've already like missed the opportunity to go get my medicine because I like talking too much. So let me know if you have any questions. And also let me know if you can hear me a little bit better with my new setup, because I got a new and like with the new setup you can hear me coughing a lot better too. So if you can hear me a little bit better, if the quality is a lot better, like just let me know. And if I don't think I'm lagging like I used to lag, so I'd love to know your thoughts and all that jazz. Any questions? I think I covered everything. I think I covered everything a little too much. Like I talked a lot about pricing, which is actually going to be another masterclass. So you just get a little extra. Okay, so I think I'm going to hop off. I really enjoyed this, and I am going to mention that Sarah with no H and I are not going to be doing the hot seat tonight. Her internet just isn't working out, and I do apologize for that, but we're going to be rescheduling it for next week, and I'll set up an event reminder for y'all for that. So Rose says, slightly off topic, but are you able to supply the InDesign files that you reference in CS6 format, pretty please? Yes, they're already there. So it's the legacy file. It's like .idml, and it's already in the resource library. It was there last week, I believe. So at least that was for the stationery thing. I will have to do it for the mood board thing as well. So I actually totally forgot about that. I was like, oh, I might as well do it like that. Okay, so wait like maybe 30 minutes, and I'll have both files, but for sure the stationery guide / welcome palette makeup palette. Why am I trying to say makeup? Okay, not makeup palette. Welcome packet is definitely there, but the other one isn't yet. I don't know why. Like, I'm an idiot sometimes. I totally forgot about that other one. Okay, Melody says, sorry if you addressed this. I had to step away. How long should a launch period last? A week, 2, longer? I would say about a week. Like, you could start midweek And then, or you can start at the beginning of the week. I know a lot of people like do it at the do it in the middle of the week, like on a Wednesday, and they're like, "Hey, I've launched," just because some people are away from their computers during the week, or away from like Instagram and stuff like that during the weekend. So you could definitely start like on a Thursday, post through the weekend, and then launch on that Wednesday. And that would be a really good thing, because I actually think I launched the master group on in the middle of the week, and look how great it turned out. I love this group. Y'all are like the light of my life. Okay, so I think I'm gonna go now. There's only 3 people watching, so I really appreciate y'all like watching and staying with me throughout this really long broadcast. And the other master classes are going to be very similar to this one. I might have like images to one side of me. I might have like different things pop up. It just really depends on what the actual lesson is going to be about. No problem, Melody. And like I said, if anyone has any trouble accessing the files, just hit me up at support@cerebricalligraphy.com. Really appreciate, hi Carly, really appreciate everything that y'all have done, and the support and the grace that y'all have given me throughout me being sick. And I really hope that I feel a lot better and like I heal up completely. But yes, I might, do like some mini broadcasts, like while I'm, like working on something, or, something fun like that, to like answer like some questions, or like just to talk to y'all one day, because I'm actually in the middle of addressing envelopes. Actually, you can see the stack right there. But yes, I will talk to you guys later. Hope you have an amazing night, day, morning, wherever you may be. And yeah, bye.